Hello students, welcome to Minshe Academy. I am your English teacher Jahnavi. So today we are going to start a new story. A very beautiful story. Before starting, please ensure me that do you like Jungle Book types of stories? Do you like? I know you like. When we were used to be kids, back then we liked the stories of Jungle Book. You heard about Mowgli, who used to live in jungle with different wild animals. Just like that, there are few birds and even a mouse in this story. Okay, so the very difference is that they are not the very wild animals present in this folk story. That means the characters are animals or behaving like humans. Okay, so these stories are called folk stories. And here, unlike Mowgli, the human character is a girl. Okay, so this story's name is A Caucus Race and a Long Tail. Okay, so let us, before starting the whole explanation of this full story, let us first see a video. Okay, let us view how the video is telling us the story. Then line by line we will be breaking it. Let's get started.
Welcome to Minshe Kids.
A Caucus Race and a Long Tail. From the book Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. After swimming in the pool of tears, Alice and several animals such as the mouse, duck, dodo and Lorry come out of the water. All of them are very wet and uncomfortable, and they begin discussing how they can get dry. The mouse first tries to dry everyone by telling a very long and boring story about English history. But the animals soon lose interest. Then the dodo suggests a better idea, a caucus race. The race is very unusual. There is no fixed starting point and no finishing line. The animals simply start running in different directions whenever they like. They run around in circles for some time until the dodo suddenly decides that the race is over. When the animals ask who has won, the dodo thinks carefully and finally announces that everyone has won the race and everyone must receive a prize. The animals become excited and ask Alice to give them prizes. Alice looks in her pocket and finds some candies which she distributes among the animals. After everyone receives a candy, the animals decide that Alice should also receive a prize. The mouse asks Alice to give them something from her pocket. Alice finds a thimble, and the dodo formally presents it back to her as a prize. After the prize ceremony, the mouse begins telling a long story about his life and why he dislikes cats and dogs. Alice misunderstands the word tail as tail and she imagines a long tail in her mind which creates a funny moment. The chapter is full of humor, nonsense, and imagination, showing the strange and playful world of Wonderland.
Hope you did like watching this video. The story is very beautiful, Here, all these animals are playing. You have seen that in this video. Let us break the story line by line. Okay, so this story is derived from the book Alice's Adventure in Wonderland. It was written by Lewis Carroll. Okay, so they are in the Wonderland. At first, the story begins that after swimming in the pool of tears, the teardrops, when people cry, the tears, a very big swimming pool of tears, and they were swimming in that pool. So after swimming there, Alice and several animals such as the mouse, duck, dodo, lorry come out of the water. So the swimming course is done. They got up and all of them are very wet and uncomfortable. What if you swim and you can't rub your body, you can't wipe the water off? Definitely with that wet feeling, you are not going to feel very comfortable, right? Then what happened? That all of them started discussing that what to do. And the mouse first tries to dry everyone. Okay, they need to be dried up to feel that comfortable. Nobody wants to stay wet, right? So here the mouse tries to dry everyone by telling a very long and boring story about what? English history. Okay, so if somebody starts telling a boring story or something that people are not liking around, so they will feel zoned out. They will not focus on what the person is telling. Same happened here, right? But the animals soon lose interest over what he was talking about. The mouse was. Then the dodo suggested a better idea. A caucus race. Okay, in this race, what happened? That the race is very unusual. Okay, there is no fixed starting point that where to start running. Again, there is no finishing line as well. There is no finishing or starting line. So how a race can be conducted on the basis of no point of starting or ending, right? And then what happens? The animals simply start running in the different directions. Whenever they just like that, I have to go there or there, wherever they like, they started running out. Okay, there is no point of such a race. Still they did that. Okay, now they run around in circles for some time. Then until the dodo suddenly decide. Now they were circling. Okay, they were running in a circle, and suddenly dodo himself decided that the race is over. Okay, the race is all of a sudden is over. When the animals ask who has won, then dodo thinks carefully. Okay, who won? Okay, so then he finally announces that everyone has won. the race and everyone must receive a prize. Next, the animals become excited and ask Alice to give them prizes. Now, all the animals, they were very excited, and for the prize distribution ceremony, they asked this girl whose name is Alice to give them the prizes, to have prizes paired out to them. Then Alice looks in her pocket, and finds some candies. See, she has candies that time in her pocket, which she distributes among the animals. Now, as a prize, she just distributed those candies to all the animals. Then, after everyone receives a candy, the animals decide that Alice should also receive a prize. Now, she has given a prize to everyone. But why should she go empty-handed? It is not fair, right? So that is why they decided that Alice must receive a prize. Now the mouse asks Alice to give them something from her pocket. Again, this mouse is asking to give something again to them. Now Alice finds a thimble. This thing is called thimble. And the dodo formally presents it back to her as a prize, that yes, you have given us so many candies as a prize, so you should not go empty handed. So this thimble is for you. It is kind of honoring towards Alice by dodo. Next, after the prize ceremony, the mouse begins telling a long story. So what happens? He was talking about his life and why he dislikes cats and dogs. See, he is having a fruit or nut basically in his hand, and he is running, and here the cats and dogs, they are running after the mouse. So Alice misunderstands the word tale, which means a story, as tale of an animal. Now that creates a very funny moment, that she imagines a long tail in her mind, which creates a funny moment again. So the chapter here shows a lot of humor, comedy kind of, and so much nonsense. These things like the pool of tears, how it can be possible? A girl is generally communicating with animals and they are understanding everything. They are running together. It does not happen in reality. So it is full of nonsense and imagination, that which is not at all going to happen, but still in an imagination, it is very nice to think, showing the strange and playful world of Wonderland. So Wonderland means an amazing place where something odd or imaginary happens. So hence it is. Hope you found this video with this story interesting. And here the story ends with this. This is a very cute story and children like you must love it. Thanks for watching the video and for being the part of such classes and this animated kind of videos. Be the part of Minshi Academy. Enroll first. Thank you for watching the video. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.